and welcome to this week's episode of Social Tea Show. It's great to be here with Marcela and Nicole.
Hi.
And myself, Sheree. And so this week we'd like to talk about a bit of a breaking news story that's happening at the moment. And we'll talk about that first up, I think.
Pour some tea though.
Oh, we should do that first.
We should definitely do some tea.
I think we should do some tea.
Yes,
What have we got?
Of course. So this week I've brought in the lovely tea from T2. It's called Bondi.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's not very descriptive of what is in the tea, but there's a bit of a mixture. Mostly it's all Australian natives, and that's hence why it's called Bondi. So
nice.
It's a little peachy coloured. It's really hard to see, but it's just getting a beautiful little bit of red colour.
Oh, the tongue with the
yeah. It's really quite beautiful.
The soft peachy colour.
Yeah.
It smells beautiful. I wish you could smell it. It's kind of filling the whole room.
It's aniseed myrtle, lemon myrtle, blood finger lime.
And finger limes.
Yeah, and quandong. So it's just
It's very Australian.
Yeah.
I tried to grow lemon myrtle because I want to have like a natives garden, and finger lime's very Australian. Lovely.
It was an ace teapot.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone, new teapot Sheree has brought in. I think that's quite lovely.
Yeah.
Love a good teapot here at Social Tea Show. Okay, shall we?
Just smell it. It's quite it's not as strong as your normal teas, you know. It's more of a tisane.
That is.
It's a nice morning tea.
It is a nice morning
tea. It's pretty refreshing. I think maybe I could have put a few more tea leaves in there.
I'm getting a really strong hit of that lemon myrtle.
It's very lemony.
Quite familiar with it because I would get the leaves and I would crush them and go, delicious. And this has really got that aroma of that lemon myrtle. It's quite citrusy. It's a real citrusy type tea. So does this have actual tea leaves in it?
No.
So it's a lovely tisane.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes. So it's a very Australian blend. It's a little bit hot, right?
Yeah. But very nice.
As an iced tea, it's really good as well, apparently. I haven't tried it as an iced tea yet, but I'm hoping to.
Oh, actually, that would be good.
Yeah.
We'll throw some ice in it. And I was actually a bit sceptical, Sheree, because earlier you were saying that it's got licorice and it's got aniseed, and I went, not my favourite flavours, but then you throw in the lemon myrtle and the quandong, and I really like that. Very citrusy. Thank you so much for bringing that in.
No worries. Yeah, more than welcome.
So, can I kick us off with the news this week?
Oh, yes.
So, the big thing that's been happening or going around my Twitter network at the moment is that there's been a little bit of investigations done by Wired and Gizmo and other major tech news articles. We think we found the creator of Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, and so we think he's actually potentially. I mean, a lot of the evidence hasn't been so much clarified yet, but there is a lot of evidence to suggest that it might be a gentleman named Craig Stephen Wright. He's actually an Australian, and so he's had history he works in security, IT security, and is in Sydney. And what happened was the Wired and these numerous publishers did a bit of an investigation, found a whole bunch of email, archives, deleted content, just basically interview transcripts with the tax office, basically leading everyone to believe that this Craig Wright is basically the Satoshi Nakamoto, who is the pseudonym for the guy that the pseudonym for the name of the guy who started Bitcoin way back in 2009, and so word is the federal police have raided his home within like a day of like a couple of hours of these allegations coming forward. They've raided his home, and word is that he's actually moving to London in a month or so. Whether or not it is him or not, we don't know for sure yet. It is kind of like an ongoing investigation, but the evidence out there is a little like interesting. Transcript cases are saying that he's been running Bitcoin since 2009, but whether or not that actually means that he's been organising it and at the forefront, or he's just been mining the currency through a computer. So not sure if he's actually just been involved from the start, being on board with it, or started it. So we'll keep tabs on that one, and that would be just really interesting to see what's happening and who's behind, Bitcoin. Really.
I'm surprised he's managed to keep his identity secretive for this long.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, a while ago now. Yeah.
I'm a bit of a... I know of Bitcoin, but I don't know too much about it. So can you tell me, I know that it's like an online currency. So would the originator of Bitcoin would have just one day decided to create a new currency? Is that basically what happened?
Technically, I think it's more about code and not actual, you're not printing money.
Yeah.
It's using a lot of different data techniques to actually... I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know there's something, you have a computer and you mine it. There's something like billions and billions of dollars worth out, like 5 billion, I think, worth out there at the moment. And it was only last Christmas that the ATO decided that you had to actually claim your cryptocurrencies or digital currencies assets for capital gains tax. So it is actually, because the ATO was like, okay, if everyone's going to make money and invest in these digital currencies that aren't recognised by governments, that's a lot of tax that's just going, away. So they officially do have that, and I think that's why the AP and the ATO are really interested to see if this guy's been fraudulent in his practices or anything. I don't know, but it's sort of a little bit of unknown territory in terms of economics and what it actually means for governance. So
that's really interesting. I'll ask you both, because you, I think, more up on this than I am, but is the creator viewed in a positive light, or in a bit of a, he's done a bit of a dodgy thing, or is he a bit of a hero?
I think he's a bit of a rebel, a bit of a Robin Hood, maybe.
A bit of both, maybe. It's very much like, okay, wow, he's obviously pretty smart to create these. If he did create a new currency, who can do that? And to stay, on top of it for so long without actually having been outed. Bit of a hero, but also, good run, man. If it is him and he does have to pay tax or get some for tax evasion or something like that, I'm not sure. Good on him, and hopefully his career is actually brought forward because of that. That we can actually give him the credit he deserves for creating a new currency. So. So that was big news for me this week.
Excellent.
But there was another on Twitter as well. We got all our news there. You found there was that crazy hashtag.
All right.
Tell us about that one.
So, as much as I like to kind of look on the bright side, I can't steer away from a bit of a PR train wreck. And this last week was a great example of great intentions going sour. So, I think, as we all know, and I think probably one of the reasons we're starting the show is that there is an alarming lack of female representation in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I think in the US, about maybe 25% of people in STEM are female. In the UK, that percentage drops down to around 14%. I don't know what it is in Australia, but I don't imagine it would be a lot better from that. So. Up comes IBM, well-known hardware and software manufacturer and sales, and they thought, what, we're going to create a campaign that's going to acknowledge that there is a problem and encourage women to partake in some kind of scientific engineering experimenting. So far, so good, right? And then they, I think, went a bit off track. they created a hashtag called Hack a Hairdryer. And the idea of it was, I think in their heads, was that women would take, a traditionally, very female grooming product and do something really cool with it, maybe turning it into some kind of an engine, something to power something. But I think by the expressions on my colleagues' faces and certainly my reaction was that it all came across a little bit patronising and just a little bit. So what happened was, of course, a couple of things. Women who were actually working in STEM rose up on social media and called out IBM for basically stereotyping women as, hairdryer holding ladies who, were just at home doing their hair and go, hey ladies, don't just dry your hair with your hairdryer. Did you know there's something else you can do with it? And then and away we would skip to our sheds and do something with it. And so, of course, social media, actual women in STEM, their tweets were to the effect of, sorry IBM, I'm too busy, milking spiders, to create great new vaccines to hack a hairdryer. Oh, sorry IBM, I'm too busy, working on, my astrophysics PhD to hack a hairdryer, So I think the intention is wonderful. Bring attention to the issue and do something interactive, but they went too specific. This is what I think they did. They just went too specific and they just chose the wrong appliance. It basically could have been so many other things and they just went hairdryer, women, and no. What do you ladies think?
Well, I was thinking as well, maybe it was a bit of a misguided target audience. I can understand if they were aiming for the youth market, for young girls in science, in school. We know that science drops off after grade 8 in Australia generally, and that's when girls stop deciding that they want to be scientists, basically. I think if you're wanting to get early high school, junior high, primary school students, it's a good idea that they're starting with an appliance that they're familiar with. They could have chosen something less feminized, maybe
sort of generalized
a toaster or a TV remote or something else,
yes.
Something else, some other item that's not actually so feminized. But I think but what we didn't know is, I don't know whether they actually were targeting teens, youth. I thought they were just targeting women in general. And by the time that you're actually an adult in science, you're not going to. You're milking spiders, of course, and doing, you're curing cancer and things like that. So they really missed the mark on the audience, and they probably should have, like you just said, chosen another appliance.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see young people under the ages of even 16 really using Twitter that much.
Oh, they do, yeah, they do. I mean, obviously, like Instagram and things like YouGap are obviously a lot, more. But they would have, to put a hashtag out there, you would have had to have included Twitter in some way anyway. Mm. So, and I think that's just what happened where they were like, well, hopefully, I'm giving them a benefit out here. Hopefully, they were thinking, we're going to target young women, and we put a hashtag out there. We're going to put it out there, like on Instagram and all these other ones, and Twitter and whatever. And then the Twitter crowd are older, and we got the reaction that we got. So I think that could have been it.
And talking about, maybe a younger audience, maybe would have engaged with this hashtag. London Fire Department actually put out a warning saying, it's maybe not advisable to play with your hairdryer because you actually can, create some safety issues along those lines. So I think, like I said earlier, I think the intention was great, but I don't think they followed it through with maybe something a bit more targeted at either an age group or provided a little bit more guidance as to what or how they wanted people to interact with it. They just kind of went, do what you will with a hairdryer. And
I've had a great idea. It's a great idea. I would love to see a partnership between Mattel and Little Bits.
What are Little Bits?
Little Bits is a sort of a beginner's electronics system. Like click together parts. You can make all sorts of things like alarms. You can make time. There's one where you can set alarm and it'll open your curtains or something. Like all these little pulleys and things like that. Robotics.
Right.
It's really easy because the bits actually just click together and there's no soldering or anything. So it's really good for teaching kids getting into physics and science and things like that. I would love to see a partnership between them and Mattel with Barbie. Barbie and like actually having a sort of hacker system where you could make like a smart home for Barbie would be so cool. Like I had dollhouses when I was a kid, but if I could, have worked out how to actually make it so that any time like I walk her through the door, like something, the curtains go open or something like that. That would be so cool.
That is such a
that would
great
be so
idea.
cool.
I mean, I had...
Hacker Barbie house.
Yeah, Hacker Barbie house.
IBM.
Can we get one?
IBM PR department, Hacker Barbie house, call out Little Bits, Mattel, make it happen.
Can we do that? Oh my god, can we?
All right.
It's gotta happen. Okay.
We're going to do something.
Write it down. Write it down. Okay, I'm gonna write this down.
Do it down.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I personally, when I grew up, as I was growing up, I didn't really play with Barbies because my parents knew that if they bought me Lego, then they could pass it down to my brothers to play with.
Clever.
So it was just me stuck playing with Lego, and I loved it. I mean, my parents didn't love it when they stood on it, but
Well, who does? Yeah.
it's still great.
I think they've just bought out some Lego-proof slippers Lego have because they're geniuses.
I just want to wear those anyway.
Because I know, you would want to wear them anyway. And I'm just thinking of Nicole's brilliant idea. I mean, I've got 2 young girls, and have bookmarked great websites about getting, these great kits where they create like a short circuit. And I mean, I absolutely love those ideas, and bringing them into the mainstream, I think, is fantastic. I think there are a lot of mums like me out there who, fight hard against the pink washing and, the very stereotypical raising of boys and girls, and who would really welcome these kinds of toys. And, there would be toys, and the learning that would happen would be towards the STEM road, I suppose, because right now, and when I go through the shops, and with Christmas coming up, looking at toys a lot, it is still very much home-based or very kind of arts and creative-based. And I think there is a big yawning hole ready to be filled by Nicole's great partnership
I just tried to
idea.
Google it and see if
It's
surely
gonna
something someone's done it already, but the only thing that's making waves at the moment is something called Hello Barbie, which is something that on the other side of things, it has Wi-Fi, and which parents are freaking out, and experts are warning that it could potentially be dangerous to children.
Barbie has Wi-Fi?
In that Barbie has Wi-Fi.
Barbie has Wi-Fi.
And it could act as it could act as a surveillance device.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it listens into what the children are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the way to get science and Barbie working together. No.
No. Right. Then we fail. So, okay, so more news, or shall we adjourn for the moment? And we'll be back after the break and to see this young lady be interviewed by this young lady.
So, we're back. Thank you for joining us again.
It's like meerkats.
Yeah. And as you can see, we've swapped around a little. And now we'll be doing a lovely interview with Nicole. Lovely Nicole. So, Nicole. We don't know that much about what exactly your business
Sure.
is.
Okay, so I'm a social media strategist. I say strategist because that's where my line of thinking is. Definitely high level in terms of how social media fits in with overall business goals, marketing. And so I provide management services for a number of clients, usually small businesses and not-for-profits. And we basically manage their accounts, all sorts of things. I also do training and workshops. That's a lot of fun. I really love working with people and helping them develop their own ideas and work out how the technology can then translate to opportunities for them. And I also do a little bit of events coverage as well. So a bit all over the shop, but yeah, social media is my thing. Yeah, I love it.
Excellent. And yeah, you do a fair bit of consulting with clients as well, that kind of thing.
Yeah, certainly. Generally, I find that there are businesses who really know what they want. They really know that they want to outsource their social. They really know that they want direction, and they'll want a strategy, and then I do that, and then they can go off and do it. Or they just want they know what they're doing, they know what they want to do, and they just want a bit of one-on training, like a bit of walkthrough Facebook ads, or how to actually read insights and things like that. So yeah, it's sort of a bit of a different scales as to how businesses want me to be involved. Yeah.
And can you give us a bit more of a background into how you got into social media?
Oh right, yeah. So my background's actually in events management.
Yeah.
I came to Brisbane, did sociology and psych. Then I went into events after. So I had a career advisor actually tell me that most of my CV or my volunteer history was with events. So I was like, oh wait, okay, that's a career. So I did that. GFC hit, and there were no events jobs in Brisbane at all. Absolutely nothing. And so I volunteered like a heap more, and was running these sort of little festivals that were very much marketed online, on Facebook, on Twitter. Twitter being my specialty. And when I went back to uni, did some more advanced work. I did Bachelor of Business. And it was like, why did I not learn? But I still love it. I still loved it. And when I finished that, my first job out of uni was with the Department of Education, the cyber safety team. So I got to teach kids and teachers how to use social media apps, what was responsible online behaviour, basically personal branding and reputation management. And that was such a good job. That was such a good job. I miss it so much. I'd love to go back there, have me back. And yeah, after that, agency land and then freelancing. So, but it was interesting because when I finished my event stuff, I was doing speaking gigs and things like that, explaining how I was talking to small businesses and event managers about how they could use Twitter, how they could use social media to market their events. That's all people wanted to hear about.
Yeah.
And there was no events job, so I was like, okay, cool. I'll just do the social media thing and
make lemonade.
Absolutely. Haven't regretted it since. It's been amazing. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So yeah.
And so, what do you think the top 3 sort of things are that someone should know in order to be successful in the social media field?
Okay, sounds like I was like thinking it was a bit of a pop quiz there. I was like, am I supposed to know the answer? No, okay, so I would say definitely your broader business plan. What do you want to achieve? It's not a number of likes. It's not a number of...
What?
No, it's not that. It's real life solutions. What do you actually, whether it's getting funding for a grant, or whether you want people to purchase something, to invite people into your culture, things like that. Actually set your goals wider than just what social media can do for you. Secondly, then you do need to have like all of your offline marketing as well, PR, graphics, everything needs to be all in together. You can't just have your social media person working in a silo as a broadcasting mechanism. They're not a radio host. It's more than that. It's keeping people updated, inviting information from your audience, and really involving that. I'm still, it's 2015, we're still sort of needing to tell people that it's a two-way conversation. I'd definitely say that. Also, know your freaking audience. Know who you're targeting. It might not always be as you expect. And you really need to keep an eye on the content to make sure that what you're posting is actually engaging with that content, with that audience.
Yeah.
You might need to change, the tone of voice. You might need to change the actual topics, even, ads and things like that. When you know exactly who you're targeting and where they are online, it's so much easier, rather than just picking, that tool's, cool at the moment. But if your audience is not there, then there's no point. It's just going to use to be wasting a lot of time. So, yeah, and I think the other thing would be really keeping a tab on the numbers. I wish I did more maths at school. I wish I did a higher level of algebra. I wish I just did more stats. So monthly reporting can be really important as well, even weekly or, however it suits your business. Keep an eye on what's actually happening. Double check in, see what posts have been good. You can boost them every now and then. Double check any conversations or, leads that you might have guessed. And then just keep an eye on the actual information and the numbers, because it often can show things that you just hadn't really seen. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great advice, Nicole. So, what are some of the most common problems that you do find with clients, and what are some of the patterns you see in perhaps when someone first approaches you and says, "I have a new business," or "I haven't done social media before," or
I think a lot of the time it's getting out of people what they want and what services I offer that will actually fit that best. If they are very direct to know where they know that they want a strategy or know that they want a plan, that's easy. They're often large businesses, who have the funds to put there. Often small businesses who haven't even gotten off the ground yet. They're just looking for costs, or they're just looking for they want to start the Facebook page before they've done anything. I'm like, okay, well, you need to make sure that your idea, like your business, is actually going to work first. I need to make sure that we need the information before we can start the marketing. You don't start a PR campaign without actually knowing what's what you're campaigning, what you're doing. Yeah, absolutely. So the more information is good. Often there can be it can be when I'm managing clients. Luckily not at the moment, all my clients are fantastic, but there can be a little bit of a mindset change. If they're not on social media beforehand, often, I'll be, saying, okay, so what happened this week? What happened this week? Are there any great meetings or any highlights you can tell me? Like, oh, we did this. We went and, we got t-shirts, or we went and did this. I'm like, well, why didn't you take a photo? Why didn't you tell me at the time? Like, why didn't, we could have promoted that and gotten people so excited for it. But I guess a lot of people just underestimate what sort of content counts. I guess. For that client, we're growing, an audience or a community. It's very much around people. It's very around about a culture and how people operate. I think it's really important to not underestimate what you've actually got to share. Yeah,
that's really good advice. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think when people are too close to it, they just don't kind of get that to someone else. This is interesting stuff, and people completely underestimate that their mundane is someone else's interesting. Put it out there and really value the work you do. And if you value it, then other people will value it.
Absolutely. The other thing I want to say is actually sometimes be brave. Be brave can actually really help put your brand out there, especially if you want to go viral or whatever.
Isn't that what we all want?
Often that happens when something is unexpected, but it's still in line with who you are as a brand. So get on. Don't newsjack unless it's completely relevant.
Cosmopolitan.
Oh my gosh, yes. And KFC they did a tweet the other day promoting a burger. Like a KFC burger, but they were actually trying to piggyback off the success of a pop star who's vegetarian. Sorry, they were kind of...
yes.
You saw that one?
Saw that one.
Yeah, it was sort of not really relevant. I mean, I guess pop culture is obviously an easy one. Leisure audiences, leisure does so much better online than say, I work with some pretty dry industries as well though, so you just got to find your angle. Unfortunately, you do a bit of research before you promote burgers to vegetarians.
Couldn't have said it better. So what is some advice as well? More advice
Yeah.
you can give to people?
Should I charge you soon? Like, no, go on. I can talk about this all day.
I'm just like another client, really. That's all I am. So, how can you? What advice can you give to people to let them know how they can stay on top of their game and be sort of at the top of the forefront of what's happening?
So bit of a cycle around research, management and reviewing. So like I was mentioned before, make sure that you put in a bit of time, schedule it, sure, to actually go through your marketing efforts. You might put it in with, radio, like other ads that you're doing, other review, like if you're doing radio, print or TV, when you review those, don't forget to review social media as well. But yeah, for the following, like each week, the easiest way to really manage it is to do a bit of time on research, a bit of time on what you'd like to talk about that week or month or whatever. This is sort of the content process, I guess. Do a lot of research. Only like really work in with, okay, is this relevant to what we're talking about? Is this relevant to what we need to communicate? Really get a gist of what people are talking about and doing that week. What sort of information people are looking for, things like that. Then I would say, schedule your content, review it, make sure that you get all the approvals and stuff like that. Depends on the size of the business, obviously. And then review it. Just be really. I think little bits a lot is more helpful for small businesses rather than just putting a whole day aside for social media. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. Let me do that. But generally, like little bits at a time. Each morning, each afternoon, treat it like email. It's a little bit at each time, and then just beginning of the week or the month, week or month, depending on what you want to do. Little bits.
That's great. Okay. Well, where can listeners and viewers go to find out some more information about yourself?
Oh, everywhere.
Actually everywhere.
I'm kind of
She's
everywhere.
omnipresent, Nicole Jensen.
Yes. Just my website, NicoleJensen.com. JENSEN, that is. And tweet me, whatever. I'll answer to everything, mostly.
She's super friendly. Most of the time.
Completely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nicole. This has been wonderful.
Cool. Awesome.
Some great advice there for our viewers.
Anytime.
And we are back with the Social Tea Show, and coming to the end of this particular episode, I thought that I might do a couple of some tips, some PR tips, but I never share my tips without a cup of tea, so let's get that happening. So we are in the lead up to Christmas, y'all, and there is the big, Christmas, Christmas buying, Christmas advertising. It is just a big old frenzy, and it is a challenge to try to grab a few seconds of attention to get clients to engage with your product. And I thought that we'd have a quick chat on how to engage that most powerful of decisions maker in every household, the mums. Love a mum. Love our mums. And mums these days are incredibly savvy shoppers, busy as ever, multitasking, probably working, doing the kids, running the household. So, first thing to think about is don't wait for the lead up just before Christmas to think about advertising for Christmas purchases. So savvy, organised mums probably had their shopping sorted around October, to be honest. So think about those Christmassy kind of products a few months before Christmas. So think about September, October as the time to grab those mums who are looking to get organised and have their shopping done and dusted before all the rush of the year, which is of course a lot more stressful, and you're kind of a lot more time sapped because there's a lot of social, there's a lot of school things happening, a lot of holidays perhaps to plan. It is just bananas. So savvy mums, shop early, engage with them early. The second thing, not surprisingly, busy mums are online. They are shopping online, they are shopping after hours, they are shopping early in the morning before the kids are up, they are shopping late at night after the kids have gone to bed. Make sure that your website, your ads are all displayed beautifully online, that they make the buying options nice and quick and convenient, because that will engage to the busy mum who's gone, okay, finally the kids are down, I need to just knock off a few gifts before I finally turn in for the day. So make sure that that is all working for you. And the third thing, I have probably just covered that, but yeah, so make sure that all your online advertising is working across all your devices, that it looks great on the phone, it looks great on the tablet, and looks great on the go. Mums are also shopping while they're watching the kids at the park, or they're watching the kids at the pool and they've got their mobile or their tablet out, and they're just at all hours of the day. So none of this kind of 9 to 5 shopping or shopping during the times when the bricks and mortar shops are opened all the time. So bang, just some quick advice to try to grab this very powerful person that usually has the tightest hold on the purse strings of the family budget. If that is the market that you want to capture, be good to your mums.
Have some tea.
Have some tea. Make your mum a cup of tea. She will like that. This time of year, is she looking a bit flustered? I'm feeling a bit flustered, so she will thank you. Cup of tea to lie down, Mum? Yes, please.
Yeah. My mum would usually take a bit of toast with her tea as well, so.
Toast with the tea?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a bickie. I have a bickie with my tea. Delicious. So, I think we've come to the end of another episode, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on board and sharing all our pearls of wisdom with our audience. We'll be back next time for another social tea show.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Not that hand. Bye.